I'm going to give everybody some time to come on because I accidentally messed up the original play, and I had to restart it. So I'm going to give folks a little time to hopefully find me. Um, we'll see if maybe, just maybe, I can get over and put something on Messenger. If it will let me go over there. I'm not sure it will let me. Okay, I have one body on.
You be careful.
Hi, Helen. Hi, Mary. Sorry I messed up the original stream. I don't know what I did. It was just acting really weird, and I don't know. It just was. Hey, Leslie. I think you're new to us. I don't recall seeing your name before. We're going to just chat for a few minutes here, let people find us again since I messed up the original stream. Hi, Anita. And then we'll get started. We're going to make a band circlet today. I think I showed you some circlets the other day, and I do know I showed a band circlet. And this one is going to be, this one's going to be sort of pretty. Well, I think it's going to be pretty. We're going to use this really pretty heart as our main focal piece. So Lily's chatting. Hi, Kimberly.
Will you get out of the cabinet?
Dad said she tried to go in there this morning too.
Hurry out.
Come
on. Well, you're not supposed to be in there.
Hi, Heather. So, the other main thing, I've got two little flat back crystal sets. One with the AB clear crystal, and one with the red, which will match the stones that are on our pretty piece that we're going to put on the band circlet. Then we'll use our 21 gauge flat artistic wire. Let's see, it's where I get my flat crystals. No, I usually just get them from Michael's or from Hobby Lobby if I need something right away. If not, then I might get them from Art Beads or Fire Mountain, excuse me, depending on what I need right away. Though a lot of these are older ones that I've had for a while, and I have collected them through the time. Now, my newer stuff is more Preciosa, though my older stuff is that other place. So I have a lot of them, though it never fails that if I see some on sale or something, I'll grab some, because I put a lot of these on my hair barrettes, so I do need them. So hi, Deborah. Hi, Tina. Hi, Releasing the Craftin'. Releasing the Craftin', what is your name? I'm gonna take my camera off the tripod for a second, and I'm gonna show you my drawer with my flatback crystals in it. Hi, Cynthia. So, since this lens is facing me, I'm going to turn this so hopefully you can, well, I'll just turn the lens. Then I can see what you're looking at. Come on. There is my flatback crystal drawer. Yeah, I saw that you guys had a lot of snow on the ground, Deborah. So there's my flat back crystal drawer. When they get low or I need a special color that's not in them, I break these little blister cases open and put them in these little cases here, which is what those ones are in up there. See there. So close the drawer. So here's my goodies that we're going to use today. We have our main piece and our crystals, and then our wire is here. So this is the one I use. Another thing to well, if you're going to do stuff like this, yeah, or hair barrettes, yeah, crystals are always nice. Hi, Juanita. We haven't seen you for a little while. And then, of course, my other tools we're going to use are right here. So I am going to put us back up on the, flip us back around and put us back up on the tripod. And hopefully it'll behave and not decide to dump us down. Okay. And so I tend to have a lot of the crystals because I do frequently, I don't do as much as I used to, but I do put them occasionally on my my hair barrettes and such. I'm also going to make another one, but I don't know that we'll make this. If we have time, I might even start it today, but I won't have everything to make this because I'm waiting for one piece to show up. But I'm also going to make a silver one. And why am I going to make a silver one? Because I have some pretty dark green. Yes, that's what I use, Mary, is the E6000. Some pretty dark green crystal pieces. So, but I'm missing one little thing that I'm using to do that. That is actually, I was talking to Randee the other day and I asked her, do you want me to make you a circlet for your wedding? And she said, I already have something somebody made me for my wedding, but if you want to make me one, I certainly wouldn't mind, and I will use it for my reception. So that's what what I'm making the green one for. So we're gonna make this pretty little thing today. So hopefully Randee is getting safely to her appointment. So she will be doing all right. And everything is good news on her ultrasound, hopefully, because, hey, we don't want bad news on our miracle baby. So let's turn down and we'll get started. Though I have to say, we need our little friend here. Ta-da! And why? It's because I formed them all on this head. Or the other head. I have two of them. But this is the one we're using today. So, hey, Debbie. So, we're going to turn down and we're going to start working this up. And if I go off screen, I'm going to apologize right off the bat because because we're working with wire. It's going to be a long piece. Have I named my head? I haven't named that head. No. I do have my mannequin is named. It's Bonnie, but I haven't named my head. So let's turn down. We'll get started on this. It won't take us a long time. The longest thing is because the glue, because we're going to use E6000 to put the crystals on, is going to take a bit of time to dry. you know, because it takes 15-20 minutes before it's real let's play with it kind of thing. So we're got to have we have to have those kind of things, and so we do have some drying time with this, but because it'll be just about done by the time we're playing with it, it really isn't going to be that much of an issue. So let's see. Yeah, that's working fine. Sorry, I was testing my lobster claw to make sure it's working all right, because I do put a lobster claw on these. But let's turn down and we'll get started on this. So here we go. Now, as I was trying to say, I might go off camera a bit because I'm going to be using a long piece of wire. A lot of times I tend to pull it towards me so that it's not grabbing everything around my desk. And since I have a mess all around my desk, it will do that with no problem whatsoever. So let's get our package open. Now this comes as a 3-feet spool. And I'll tell you, this is not a cheap date. I think it's, oh, how much was I paying for it? $5 or $6. No, it might be more than that even. It's been a while since I bought any. I usually only make these in closer to the summertime because I'm using them to go to the Renaissance fairs, and my first one is in June. So I usually don't get really excited about making these until closer to that. But I did promise some folks I'd make one, so we're going to do so. So this is the gold. It comes in a variety of colors, but this particular one is gold. We need to cut it loose because, well, obviously we have to cut it loose. And these little, sometimes, you know, with wire you can just push it out. These are too tight. You can't. So just cut the piece off. And it's going to try and unspool itself to a degree when you cut it off, and I don't worry about it too much. So this one doesn't try to unspool as much as others. This, like I say, is the 21 gauge 5mm by 0.75 flat wire in the gold color. And it comes in silver, obviously, because I showed you a silver piece. And I think copper and bronze. I know copper and bronze. I'm not sure if there's any other colors or not. So we need to get enough of this. Now, let's see here. First thing I'm going to show you is, see how this is crooked here? I don't want that. I want it to go straight across. So I'm going to just take these are my heavy duty ply cutters. They are still going to fight with this because actually, why am I using these? Duh. I've got my metal cutters. Now, I'm going to warn you to be careful when you're using your metal cutters. Why? Because this will cut metal, number one, so it'll cut you easily. But because of their length, and you need that length to get a good hold, I tend to frequently pinch myself with these. Okay, I saw a question here. Yes, Cindy, Randee is at the doctor today. Good to see you, Cindy. Hey, Beth, good. You made it in. So we're going to square this piece off. Now we want to have enough wire. Oh, wow, this piece is straightening up more than they normally do. Huh, amazing. Maybe it's the gold. And we're going to take it, and we're going to take our head, and we're going to take this piece and we're going to wrap it all around this head. Come on, babe. And we want it to go down where you would put it on your own head. You don't want it right up there at the top. So bring her down and around. Come on, unfold. And we want to cut it about where it meets. Because this one is one we're not going to make any patterns in the wire itself. So we're going to give it about, bring it all the way around, and then we want to give it not quite up there because we're going to put that lobster claw in between the two sides. So we're going to cut it about right here. So we're going to make a straight cut right across here. And then I'm going to put my wire up. This one is way more flexible than I'm used to them being, but that's all right. I'm not going to complain about that. But I'll show you what I mean with that. See how flexible this one is? I can really move it around just like a regular wire, but almost too flexible. When I have this one, which is the one I'm going to use for Randee, it is much stiffer. It will undo some, but it won't as easily as this gold is being. Yeah, you can use a memory wire cutter. Though I've done it, but the thing you've got to worry about with a memory wire cutter is because it's smaller, like this, it won't always go all the way around your wire. It will, but see, just barely. And it might make weird marks on it. I have cut it before with those, but you'll want something strong. This wire is way more flexible than the norm, but that's all right. So the first thing you're gonna want to do is you're gonna take these ends, and I'm gonna round them out some by cutting just the corners out of our end right here. This wire is way more flexible than the other colors. I'm surprised. Okay. It also cuts a lot easier, more malleable. So then, like I say, both sides, cut the corners off just a little bit. So it sort of rounds your piece out some. Yeah, we've got that now. Now, because I'm pretty much done with these, so we're going to put them away. I put them away the other day and then couldn't find them when I wanted them again. Now we're going to take our file. This is a vintage file. You can use any file that'll work, and you want to file those edges down because they're going to be sharp. Nothing like a cut piece of wire to give you a nice burr. So want to file those edges down pretty good. This wire is, like I say, being much more flexible than I'm used to, and it's not having as sharp spots, which is nice in one way, but it's sort of weird. Sort of weirded me out. Not used to that. Oh, that's great. So now, next step is our Sharpie, and I'll show you why. Put them away. Yeah, that is a radical concept. Yes, please, Beth. I'm going to use at least one of those stones. Yeah, that was Lily talking. So Yeah, you can work hard in it if you want to, but I've never had to with this wire before. This gold is a lot more manageable um, than the silver and the copper is. But it's sort of bizarre, to be truthful. Anyway, what we're going to do now is we're going to take our Sharpie and we're going to put just a teeny dot in the middle of both ends. This is soft enough. I might be able to use my other hole punch, but I'm not going to. So once we have that done, in comes our hole punch. So we're going to screw this open enough that we can get our wire into here. And ease it under our pin, tighten it up. Now once I get this sort of tightened so that it's not wiggling too much, I'm going to look around, try and make sure that I'm on the top of my Sharpie mark. It could come out just a bit more. There we go. And then we'll you look like you're down to one side a little bit. Now you're definitely on the other side. Little minuscule movements here to get where you want to be at. Okay, I think I'm good. So we're going to now punch a hole into this guy. Oh. Now, sometimes to get them back off, once you punch the hole, you have to twist them all the way up so that the cutter itself knocks it off of the, oh, it's off of the wire. So now we have this hole. It's got a little bit of burrs too, so we're going to have to sand it as well, or file it. And then I'm going to do the other side. Okay, you need to go a little lower so you're easier to maneuver. I've seen a lot of pictures of the snow in New Orleans lately and Florida. That is just crazy. I know that they can get cold. It just is not a regular thing. And snow? Wow. Okay, now this one's done. And we're done with our hole punch. Now we've got to do a little file to make sure this isn't sharp here. Okay, oh, I know why I had the other cutters out, but I'll get them in a minute. Okay, now we need a couple of jump rings. We have our lobster claw. And we could probably use a smaller jump ring for the lobster claw side. We'll see. Come on, baby, come out of there. And I need a little chain. Now, I always put some extender chain on these because just because it fits my little styrofoam head doesn't mean it's going to fit everybody's head. So I usually put like 2 or 3 inches of extender chain on here. And even doing that, I have been known to have to add some more. When I always have people try them on before they take off with them, you know, unless they're for somebody else. Obviously that doesn't work, but I always have people try on their circlets if they're for themselves, because You know, some people have smaller heads, some people have bigger heads. I've had people fit that they didn't even need the extender chain, and I've had people that I've had to add extender chain. So, always better to have it right off the bat. And I'll probably want to find a pretty to put on this too, but I'm not going to do it right now. I bet the children are having fun, Deborah. 9 inches in Pensacola. Wow. So now what we're going to do is we're going to put our lobster claw on one side and our chain on the other side. Didn't I just get a smaller jump ring out? It doesn't matter. This is why we pushed that hole into here, so we could put our hardware here. Now, I used to always use a swivel lobster claw because it would move around and so it didn't kink up ever. But they're almost impossible to find anymore. So okay. This side is really bunching up some, but that's all right. We'll fix it. So now we're going to take our head and I'm going to put it on here. And wow, I made it bigger than I needed to. It's got a lot of extra room here. Oh, I've got it on the chain rather than the lobster claw, though. That might make a difference. Come on. Yeah, that's much better. Okay, so now you see she's got her headband on, so to speak. So now our next step, I sort of try and fit the band to the head because this is more of a head shape than a round circle is. So, and it still wants to turn up on this one side. Hello. So we're going to have to undo this and we'll twist it down till now I twisted it too much. There we go. So anyway, there's that. And I will put a pretty on the end of this when I decide what I want to put there. But our next step is to get this ready. It's got a loop. I don't want this loop. So we're going to cut it off. Yeah, I keep my taps dripping at night a lot of times when it gets really cold. And, you know, you have to, especially if your taps are on the outside wall. Yikes, that's 29 in Myrtle Beach, Beth. Isn't that a little cold for you guys? I mean, it doesn't normally get that cold, does it? So that's why I had these out here. Forgot about that. So we're going to cut this loop off of the heart here. Because we're not going to use it. Now, the green ones, you will have noticed they had a loop on the bottom, and that's because of something I'm going to do with them. So now I'm going to take my file, and we're going to file this piece where I cut that off. Ouch. Okay, so this is going to go in the middle of our headdress, like so. And I'm going to have to hold it in place because it has a bump on the back. And when we glue it, we're going to have to put an extra glue so that it will go down from into the grooves on the sides here and adhere to our bar, because it's going to sit just like so, right in the middle. And then we're going to take two of the light crystals. They're going to go on either side, and then the red will go down a little bit further for extra decoration. So, since we're ready to glue, well, not quite. There's one more step first. First, we got to find where the middle of this bar is, because we don't want to just have the heart way over here. So we're going to have to take our tape measure. Hey, I rarely tape measure, but hey. No, there's no way to have a fairy drop. So no, I never put a fairy drop on these, though I do have one that I have a dangling dragon, and it's dangling from the jewel that was sitting here, because the one I used, oh, I wonder if I have one close by similar to it. It was a one of the type with a, I think this might be the one I used right here, but see the holes in the side? Come here. So see, it has the holes in the side. So I dangled the little dragon from a little piece of chain from between these two holes. So it was like this. Pretty sure I had it like this. It might have been like this, but, and then I put some chain from hole to hole and put a dragon down below it. So that makes it easier if it's got something down below that you can dangle stuff from it. But the one I'm making for Randee, here, I'll bring the pieces back down again. What I'm going to do is, normally, you know, the loops go to the top, which with the heart, it was at the top, so I couldn't do things from the bottom. But I'm going to invert these so that the loop is at the bottom rather than at the top. And I'm going to put some chain from loop to loop, like so. And then I'm going to hang a stone from right here. And I might put a couple more little flatback crystals on either side. We'll see. Why couldn't I put a hole in the middle of the wire? I probably could, but you got to remember that we're putting this. Oh, I see what you're saying. Put a hole there and dangle the heart right from the base there. You could. Never really thought about it, but you could. but put these bays back where they belong. This one actually would take some texture better than some of them would, I think. So anyway, we got to measure our band here. So it's not quite 19 inches, and I feel a sharp spot. I'm going to have to fix that. So it's about 18 and 3/8. So we want 9 and 3/16. Yeah, 9 and 3/16. Around. There's 9 and 3/16. It's right here. Still the right spot. Stop. Here's one of those times I'm pulling it towards me, aren't I? So we want 9 and 3/16. So right here. There goes my tape measure. So that's where we want to put our heart at. And then it doesn't look like it's in the middle. Probably is, and I'm just imagining it. But come here, you. Barely off. No, it is on. It's in a white spot. Isn't it funny how it's a lot optical illusions work? You go and go, but that doesn't look right, but it is. So we got to put this guy in place, and then we have to decide how far out we want the other pieces to go, the other jewels. And I'm thinking maybe an inch. But an inch, since this is relatively good size, get out of my way. How big is this? It's almost an inch. So we'll put another mark about 1.5 inches on either side of this. So about right here. And now I'm going to go another inch from that mark to our next mark, which will be for the other flat back crystal. So right about here. And don't drop your tape measure again. Weehaw. Oh, I still have the hives. I don't know if you can see them. See all the little red spots I have? At night, they raise up a little bit. They're worse on my forearm, my upper arm here. Don't know if you can see them at all. But I don't know what caused them. I called the doctor. They didn't seem too worried about it. They said if it gets worse, let them know. But it's weird. It goes down during the night, and then about when it gets about bedtime, they seem to raise up a little bit again, which is So weird. But I don't know. I've never had hives before that I can ever recall, so it's very strange to me. So we're going to put our silicone mat down. I use this when I'm painting or gluing because it protects my regular mat, and if it will peel right off here. I could probably peel some of this paint off if I wanted to. Yep, see? Yeah. Here, little ball, sit there and hold it in place. So the first thing we need to do, we're going to glue our red heart on. And it's going to be difficult. Well, we may do the little one. Benadryl is my friend, huh? I wonder if I have any. I'm going to have to check. So, yeah, I don't think so. She is one of the few things that's new around here, though, but I don't think it's her because I do have other cats, so I don't think it's my cat. But come on, glue, come off. You know, I do my best to not get glue in the threads, but it never fails that I must because they don't want to open really easily. There, I just felt it give. And there it is. It's like, where did you come from? But whatever. We want to put, now I'm going to just do the little crystals first. So I'm just going to put a little dab on each of these little spots here. And it's probably going to need some cleaning because it likes to give more than I want to take. So we're going to, now that we've got those in those spots, I'm going to get some crystals out. Where are my tweezers? Here they are. And I want the biggest size of these guys that I have, which is this one. Come here, you. Come here. And this one. And then I think we'll go with this size of this one. And we're going to put these on these little, where I put these dots at. So we're going to have the crystal one on this side and push it down. And it is, see, it's got a mess of glue there. I am going to have to clean that up some when it dries a bit. Then we'll put the little red one right here. Red one's not going to need any cleaning. It doesn't look like. That's good. So there is the flat backs in place. Are they sizes? A lot of times they'll come in a package which they have multiple sizes, which you might want to start with those, Mary, because the multiple sizes are helpful, so that when you, like here, see they have 3 different sizes. That way, if you want a bigger one or a smaller one of the same thing, you've got them, rather than just one size, which most of the other packages are just one size like this. But those 3 packs are really nice if you're just starting your collection. And then Okay, this one has the same. This one is a different type. It's from Beadland. It's called Crystal Radiance, but quite frankly, they're made in Austria, so I wouldn't be surprised if, they're the holdouts from that other company. But this little case has, it says, see right here, size 12, 16, and 20. All three sizes are in here. So go for one of those multi-packs. Yep, Michael's does have the crystals. So now, because this has that bump, like I said, remember we've got two choices. We got to try and file the bump down, which I never try to do because I don't know how far this crystal is down in here, and I don't want to mess it up. On the other hand, I might file it a little bit to make it have a little more sticking power, because as you all know, these flat surfaces sometimes do not, they're too smooth and things don't always want to stick to them. So we're going to take a little bit of the bump off. Well, that should help a lot, actually. It gives it another flat surface to sit on the wire. I was going to say I never do that, but I did. I obviously do because I'm doing it right now. It's not going to be able to be flattened all the way down because, like I say, I don't know how far this crystal sits down in here, and I don't want to bring it all the way to the surface. But I am making a nice flat surface that this will stick on the wire nicely, though. Blow out the dust. So now we're going to take and we're going to put glue in two spots this time. And this time we're going to put some glue not only where the circle is, but around it. And we're going to put a pretty good sized glob here because this is a big piece. It needs that extra oomph. So and now I'm going to decide about where it's going to sit as far as the piece itself is concerned. And I'm going to put glue all the way around here. And I'm going to put a goodly amount because there is that divot in the middle there. What we want it to do is to spread out and drop down because it's going to drop. The glue is going to naturally go try and gain both sides. So it's going to drop into place from there. It's not going to just sit flat there. It's going to come and it's going to try to go down to the bar, which is what we want it to do because but we're going to have to keep an eye on it while it starts to dry because it's going to try and wiggle too because the glue is wet. So it's going to want to make its way to the easiest angle that it can get to. Now I'm going to try and, I got a little glue on my finger, bend this up some so that it's as flat as as we can get it. Why the glue sits here. Whoops. See what I did? I let it lean to the side too much. Now you have to go back in place. And I have to get a paper towel because I should have one beside me, but come here. I know there's one here. There we go. So I got it on my fingers now. I haven't seen her. So now we have to let it dry for a while. But keep an eye on it. Make sure it doesn't try to fall off again. And that it's staying relatively straight. So what I usually do is lean it up here against something so it's staying in place until it dries. Well, it's not going to dry for 24 hours, but till it dries more than it is now.
There
Yuck.
she is. You can't go out with me. No, you cannot go out with me. Lily, no, 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 no. No.
Your car knows the way to Michael's? Yeah, mine probably does too, and Hobby Lobby. But so we're going to let that dry for a little while. Then we're going to test it, make sure it's not deciding to go sideways on us. And in the meantime, I need to find us a little pretty to put on the base here. What do I want to put here? That's pretty, but I think it might be bigger than I want. I know what I do with it. Come here, baby. Crystal. Oh, for cripe's sake, Rose. I keep my little tabs in with things so I know what they are, and this tab wants to come back out of the package. So we'll put a little crystal on here at the base. Yeah, she was, my daughter just went outside and the kitty wanted to follow her. I'm sorry to hear you're allergic to kitties, Cindy. I really like kitties. Okay, let's see how this guy's doing. Are you still staying straight? A little bit crooked. Let's straighten you while you're still malleable enough to straighten. I think you're off to one side, though. You are. So we're going to have to move you, and you're starting to dry. Can I still move you? Yeah, it still moves. Just not as much as I'd like it to. Ugh. Okay, I'm going to do a naughty. I got to pull this off because I got to see where that black dot is because we're way out of place here. There, it's right there. So there we go. Right there. Now I'll let it dry again for a while. Now see how this one's got glue outside of it, but this one's pretty good, though there is a little runner right here of the glue. We'll have to pick those off. And now I've got a glob of glue right here we're going to have to clean. But no leaning. Back up there to dry again. Now I'm going to take this, and I thought I saw, yes, I do. That isn't as red as the others, but it's going to be in the back. So we're going to make us a little pretty for the back. Stop buying stuff. Yeah, that'll be the day. Oh, now this pin has a little bend right here, so I'm going to take my flat nose pliers and go over the bend and pull it out as much as I can. There we go. See, almost gone. And then we'll put this little crystal on here. And there we go. Okay. So I'm going to put this on the chain like so, though I'm not really going to wind it up right now because it's we still got to let that dry some more. But let's see how we're doing here now. A little bit crooked, straighten back up. The biggest problem with using the big stuff like this is that they're heavy enough that they want to do their own thing. Now I'm going to get my tweezers. I think that we've sat long enough that I can work and get this extra glue around these little crystals here off. Now you want to be careful when you're pulling your extra glue off because you don't want to pull it off so much that you pull it all out and then your crystal is these are those little runners. You know, when you put glue out, you always seem to have a little bit of a runner. And this one, oops, got a little bit more glue right here. Okay. This side's good except for it has a runner going down to the other one. Sometimes when you got a runner, the easiest thing to do is rub your finger over the metal to get hold of it because it likes to go elsewhere. Just a touch of extra glue right here. See if I can get that out without overdoing it. Sometimes if there's just a teeny bit of glue, what I'm doing right now with my fingernail is pushing it while it's still soft up to the bead so that, or the crystal, so that it's sort of hidden by it, so it doesn't look so messy. But I don't try to pull it all out because otherwise you're really pulling it all out. This one is a little messy still though. That's better. Now this guy is not going to be dry as much as I want, but I'm going to try and take this bit of glue off right here. It needs some more work once it dries a little more, but it's, she needs to finish drying, but well, let's face it, E6000 though doesn't dry entirely up for 24 hours. I'm going to try and do this without knocking that baby off because it's the last thing I'm doing. It's just putting this pretty dangle onto the our extender chain here. Whoops. That's what I was afraid of. It's going to fall. Just stay right there. I think you're strong enough to stay put, I hope. Oh, you didn't come off. But I swear I heard it go click. But there we go. Pretty dangle. All done. Okay, now let's see what we got going on up here. Okay. Oh, she is leaning to one side, though. Come on, baby. Now, sometimes with these bigger ones like this, you might end up having to squirt some more glue down the edges in here. And that's fine. It until you get it the way you want it and it's nice and dry, you can play with it to your heart's degree content so it looks the way you want it to. And I've got a runner of glue right over the top of my crystal here. So we want to get that off. No, come on. I had hold you. And I'm messing it up because I'm getting it on my fingers. There's some right there. Not good there either. So anyway, this is about as done as it's going to get other than drying. And I have to get the extra glue off the places it's still on. But there she is. And I do have to get the excess glue out of these places that are in there. And if I decide it needs some more, I will take and squirt some glue down the edges right there and maybe form it right across. Well, actually, I may just do that right now while I'm thinking of it. Let's get that a little straighter. It's a little crooked there. I could see it from the bar. And the other thing I was going to say you can do, though it's a little trickier because you need to hold it still while it happens, is, well, you got to get the lid off the glue first. What you can do is put some glue right here between the band and the piece, sort of like caulking on your bathtub kind of thing. And that will stabilize it right here. Well, it will if you keep it flat, Rose, and so you don't come off. So you do need to keep it flat while it dries, though. Otherwise, it just wiggles around. So I try and find something to prop it on when it's drying. And I don't have a good prop there because it's turning sideways some. So and you can get the glue off of stuff as long as you do it like about 20 minutes to 30 minutes after it goes on. It's still wet enough to come off, but it's not so wet that it's going to just get globby on you. Well, if I can get hold of it. Ah, that worked better with my finger than my tweezers. That's cool. Okay. So this guy, we just need to let this dry and clean it up. But other than that, it's finished. And we're over our hour. Surprise, surprise. Hey, Dorothy. Hey, Janice. Okay, I'm going to flip this over so we can talk easier because I can see it better when I have it. Ah, sorry guys, the tripod's wanting to let loose. Okay. Am I using plated wire? This is silver plated gold wire. So yes, it is plated. It's a gold plated over silver. I don't know if you can even get it without having it be either a silver or copper base with a plate on the top of it. The only place I've ever seen flat wire is from Beetlon, which is where I get this from. So I have to be careful with this since it isn't dry and it is going to move on me. But this is what she's looks like. And I did put the pretty at the end of this extender chain. And but I do need to clean it up some. But other than that, she's done. What do I charge for this style? It's usually, this one would probably be $45 because of this bigger crystal in the middle cost me more. But usually these are about $40. So about between 40 and 45 usually for this style. So my other ones go for anywhere from 50 to, I think the most expensive one I've got is 80. But those I do charge extra because of the time involved in making them, because they do take a lot of time to make the other style. Which, by the way, we will be starting one of the other style on the members live this afternoon. It will probably take us 2 members lives to do one, because they do take a long time for the other style to do. So I never think that, oh, I'm going to get it done in an hour. It's not going to happen. I might get it done to the degree where you can see what it's going to start looking, it's going to start forming its shape and everything, but it's not going to be finished. I got my first bunch in a mystery box too, Juanita. My first bunch of flat wire. So the first thing I made were some earrings. I just cut some off and punched a hole in them and used them as a bar. And then the next thing I used them for was to make a bracelet that I beaded around, that I wire wrapped beads around. But then I saw this style of circlet in a book, and I went, oh, you know what? I could use the flat wire to make that. So that's when I made my first one of these. So I'd stick it on my head to show you what it looks like, but it would stick to me right now. Well, actually, I can stick it on the styrofoam head. I think it will be all right. I don't think I'll lose things putting it on there. There we go. There she is. Is it 10 millimeters wide? Well, this is the packaging. It says it's 5 millimeters by 0.75 millimeters. So let's measure it. I don't know that I trust those things hardly. It's 5. It's 5 millimeters wide. So there's what she looks like. You like the plain simplicity ones better than the more fancy ones, Cynthia? Yeah, sometimes I do too. I think they both have their place. My own personal one was one of the fancier ones, but though there's been a few times that when I've made one of these that I've gone, ooh, I really like that. I should keep that myself. But I've never kept any of these myself. In fact, I went for my first 3 Renaissance fairs before I decided to make one and say, I'm keeping this one. I would just wear one of them, and then people would go, oh, I like that one, and I'd sell it to them. But I don't do that anymore. My own personal one is my own personal one. So what I'm doing right now is I got to get a bit of glue on my crystal here, and I'm trying to get it off without damaging my crystal. There we go. I think I got it. So there's our little band circlet. It is 12 after the hour, so we are going to go. Somebody once asked me if I did this without doing it on camera, would it take me less time? Yes, for this kind anyway, it definitely would. For any other one, other thing, sometimes not. Because sometimes what I'm doing is designing them on the fly. So, if I'm designing them as I go along, then obviously I'm going to take longer to do them, because if the folks that have watched me for a while know that I'll put something together and then I don't like it, so I pull it back apart and do it again, and so yes, you do, Mary. You do have to get your new gas line in. I agree entirely. So if you have to leave, that's fine. You know that you can always watch it later if you have to. So, and besides, we're just chatting now anyway. We are done more or less, other than, like I said, I do have to clean it up when it dries a little bit more, but I think it's very pretty. Now, Beth suggested that I take one of these and put it as a gift on the knot for as a thing for come watch me make it kind of thing, and try and get to bring my subscriber numbers up, and I've been considering it, and this is the one I actually was considering doing that to, because let's face it, it's a heart, and it is going to be Valentine's Day in a few weeks. So um, thank you, ladies. Well, it is a quarter after, so we're going to go. And I know that this needs to dry some, and then I have to finish cleaning it up. But other than that, it's done. So again, there's what she looks like. And this end has the extender chain with a little pretty at the end. And it's pretty simple to make. They aren't hard. It just takes some time and some patience, because you've got to watch that glue problem down there. Yeah, I think you all could make one. They're not hard. Um, the like I say, the biggest thing is you just have to have the pieces and the tools, and they're not a hard thing to make, really. I don't think so anyway. So there's what this one looks like. And I have thought of just making them for guys without the jewels on them and just distressing it, by hammering it and seeing if I can get it to distress. I think that would be a nice one, but I never have tried it. This gold might distress better than the silver wire, but this is. So I am going to go. It's a quarter after. We've been on for over an hour and a little hour and 15 minutes, and I'm going to let this dry for a while, and then I'm going to finish cleaning it up. Probably will put pictures of it on my Facebook page. I don't think that's straight in the middle, but that's all right. And yes, this afternoon, Mary, at 1 o'clock Mountain Standard Time, which would be 3 o'clock for you East Coast folks. Yeah, and I'm going to start the other style of circlet. So lots of fun. This one, like I say, may end up being a giveaway. We'll see what I decide. But for those of you who have not joined my membership and are thinking that you might want to, there is one of those styrofoam heads. I got mine at Michael's, I think. Though I got my very first one at Joann's before we even had a Michael's here, but yeah, that's where I got the second one. Was at my second one because I have two of them. I got one at Joann's. Now it's not her. The other one's getting a little bit janged up from being used a lot. And then I got my second one at Michael's. They're not in our Michael's here. They're down by where the wedding stuff is at. Why, I don't know, but they are. I don't know if that's the same in all Michael's, so I couldn't tell you for sure. Sorry, I'm playing with the glue, trying to get some of the excess glue off. So anyway, I hope you guys enjoyed that. We'll see the members at 1 o'clock Mountain Standard Time. Like I was going to say, if you aren't a member and would like to become a member, there is a join button in the description. Oh, there may not be right now because I had to restart. But there might. If there's not, I will get one in there. Join button to join the membership, and the members live. I always do one members live on Thursday afternoon, and then you always get the members first videos. All the videos that I record always go to the members first. Some not a big turnaround time. I bet they do, Deborah. I bet that the Hobby Lobby does have the styrofoam heads as well, because they have all kinds of jewelry making stuff. But a lot of people use those for like when they're knitting or crocheting, like caps. So that's one section to look into if you don't find them right off the bat. What was I saying? Oh yeah, and I have done a few members only videos as well. I have only had my membership for a little over a month. So, and you can tell because see there, Beth's and Deborah's is too. The teal ones have been with me a month. The dark blue ones have only been with me for not quite a month yet. I think most of our folks have been with me for almost a month. And then they'll change color again. Is it 2 months or is it 6 months? I'm not sure. But we have a lot of fun on the members live because there's not very many of us. Cindy, I think you were in my second batch of folks to join. You should turn teal anytime. I'd have to look, But yeah, you should be teal pretty soon. Hey, Rosemary. Very much, Mary. That's very true. Your comments all help. Your likes all help. All that kind of stuff helps. So, anyway, there we are. And we will see everybody that's a member. Well, hopefully, I'll see everybody that's a member to this afternoon at 1. And the rest of you, oh, I do live tomorrow too. Forgot about that. Tomorrow at 10 Mountain Standard Time. So that'd be noon for the East, 11 for Central, and 9 o'clock for West Coast. So I now do a live on Fridays as well as on Tuesdays. And then my members live on Thursdays. So I have 3 lives a week nowadays. This week we have 4. Anyway, we got to go. It's almost 1:30. We've only almost been on for an hour and a half. So see, we get chatting and I forget all about it. I don't want to. So everybody have a lovely day. We'll see you all later. For those that are members, I'll see you this afternoon. For those that are not, I'll see you tomorrow morning. Bye-bye.